Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rediscovering God. As always, I'm your host, Steve Eisenhower. And again, I'm going to talk about one of the major discrepancies in Christianity that, drove me into deeper study and, resulted in my leaving. But before I get started, guys, first things first, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, give me a big thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. Okay, so this one actually goes back quite a ways. This is when I was still pretty set on being a preacher. I was right, actually early on in my ministry. So this was a lingering problem for me for a while. And it's one that I never really got any good answers on. And that would be the entire concept in definitely far-right Pentecostalism of, and this is Reformed theology as a whole, was Sola Scriptura, Scripture alone. That might sound all well and good, so why was it really a reason that it drove me out? You would think that would be a reason to keep you in because Christians don't accept all the traditions. Well, that's completely wrong. And in the Christian Bible, I'm just going to talk about a couple instances in one book that's actually in the Christian canon. They most certainly do adhere to extra-biblical, non-canonical works as authoritative, which puts a knife in their claims because Sola Scriptura is something that is adhered to very closely. And mind you guys, the extra-biblical books that are referenced that I'm about to talk about real quick, I read them when I was a Christian. Looked up the legitimacy of them, and outright, before I get any farther into this, both of these books, both of these works, are not accepted as scripture in either Judaism or Christianity. I don't even think they're considered Deuterocanon. So that's pretty low level. They're definitely in Judaism not considered authoritative whatsoever. In fact, they're somewhat heretical. At least Enoch is. Assumption of Moses, perhaps. But anyway, so in Jude, Book of Jude, attributed to Jesus' brother Judas, Judah, however you want to chalk it up. First of all, I don't believe this was it was most certainly a personal letter. He's addressing issues that aren't really needed in a holy book, if that makes sense. They're not. It's much like the Pauline writings, that you can tell that they are written in a way, they're personal, they're either to a community or, well, definitely to a community. In the case of Paul, this might have been to a community or to one person, not quite sure. The Book of Jude. I would say the Christian consensus is more leaning towards that it was written for a community. But they were dealing with false teachers, is what they're talking about. False teachers is what Jude's addressing. So obviously he's banking on whomever his audience is having a understanding of everything he's going to be referencing. Otherwise, why write it? So first things first. There's only one chapter in the Book of Jude. So in verse 6, it says, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. So, I mean, I've talked about in videos, angels, no fallen angels, devil's not an enemy of God. You have all the background on that already. So what's Jude talking about here? Which kept not their first estate, which is clearly heaven, but left their habitation. He hath reserved, which kept not their first estate, their job. They weren't doing the right thing. Left their own habitation, heaven. He hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of that great day. Basically saying that these angels did the wrong thing, denoting that they have free will, and now they're getting punished for it. So where does that come from? That is completely Enochian literature. That is Book of Enoch. You can research the Book of Enoch if you want. Dated to the 2nd, 3rd century BCE. I do believe the original was written in Aramaic, I think is the most common understanding of it. Translated into Greek, I think there's only one denomination, I believe, and that's the Ethiopian Orthodox, is the only one that still considers it canonical or authoritative. But if you walk up to any Christian right now, I'll even open up a poll on the comments, comment on it, if you believe that the Book of Enoch is Scripture. So in basically 99.9% of Christian denominations, the Book of Enoch is not canonical. It's not deuterocanonical. Judaism also rejects it, not canonical. And just as a disclaimer, Judaism is not Sola Scriptura. Judaism has the Talmud, it has the Oral Torah, So if you're going to come into the comments and say, oh, well, the Book of Tobit or something like that is, or the Book of Jasher is referenced in Tanakh somewhere, which is in the Book of Joshua, I believe. Okay. Judaism never said they were Sola Scriptura. Christianity did. Okay, so obviously Jude didn't feel that way. Either Jude believed that the Book of Enoch was Scripture and everyone else in Christianity didn't, or he wasn't relying on Sola Scriptura. But then verse 9, yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. Now where is this from? You ain't going to find anywhere in Exodus or anywhere in Deuteronomy where it's saying that Satan and Michael had a heated argument about who's burying Moses or where. First of all, this does come from, I do believe it's a Midrash or Genesis or a Talmudic literature, that a figure named Samael and Michael they simply just had an argument as to who could bury Moses. It wasn't that Samael was this big bad evil demon angel and was trying to steal the body of Moses. It was simply just that he wanted to bury him. He wanted the honor of burying Moses. Anyway, Jude is presenting this as, well, Michael had to fight for the body and the devil wanted to take it. But regardless, where does this story come from? You won't find this anywhere in the Torah. You won't find this anywhere in the Tanakh. So what is Jude referencing? So he's referencing a definite deuterocanonical work called The Assumption of Moses. And if you want to check out The Assumption of Moses, that conversation is in that book. So again, no Christian, nowhere in Judaism but we're going to focus on Christianity. Nowhere in Christianity is this considered canonical. When I was still preaching, I actually was reading the Assumption of Moses, and I was talking with a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing a little bit of studying, doing a little bit of reading." He said, "Oh, what are you reading?" I said, "The Assumption of Moses," and he, was taken aback by it. He went to a Pentecostal Bible school, I believe, so, 13th grade. But he was like, "What are you reading that for?" And I said, "Well, it's referenced in the book of Jude. Like, you need to at least look at this stuff if you're going to understand what Jude was talking about." "Oh, no, that's not canon. That's not the Bible. You shouldn't read that." Not my words, guys. A Christian Bible school student straight up told me I should not read the Assumption of Moses because it's not a canonical work. It's not accepted as Christian canon. But yet, in the Christian canon, you have a book outright quoting it. So, Sola Scriptura, guys, it's actually hurting you. In verse 14, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam. So now he's going to say that Enoch, because we've already been talking about Enochian literature as far back as verse 6. So 14, he says, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. 15, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against them. So if you read the book of Genesis, you can do it right now, go back to the book of Genesis, you are not going to see any prophecy like this given by Enoch. Nowhere, it's not there. So where is this coming from? Okay, again, this is the book of Enoch. This is first Enoch. This is a two verse quote outright from the book of Enoch. So Jude is expecting you to know what the book of Enoch says if he's going to be delving into this. He expects you to know what the Assumption of Moses says. Now, don't quote me because I might be wrong. Pretty sure about this. If I'm wrong, just check me in the comments, guys. I'm pretty sure the Assumption of Moses is a Greek text. But like I said, if it's not, check me, but I'm pretty sure its original language was Greek. Let's see. But yeah, so Assumption of Moses. Okay. Okay, so just real quick, that article, it states that the believed original language was Hebrew or some other Semitic language, but that it was translated into Koine Greek. Okay, you can believe it. There's also people believe that Matthew was written in a Semitic language too, but where is it? So anyway, guys, Book of Jude, one chapter. So really about a quarter of the book is quoting extra-biblical deuterocanonical sources. So Sola Scriptura, guys, that's, like I said, it's hurting you. It's not, and this was something I really struggled with. I would be reading, studying these texts, trying to get a better understanding of, and caught flack for it. Really, the only extra biblical literature I was supposed to be reading was, contemporary high-ranking ministers in my denomination. Maybe like very far-right Bible school curriculum type stuff. But, in my experience, this stuff was completely taboo. Don't even read it. Don't even think about it. So, especially when, like I said, that little story I said about a friend who was in Bible school. He asked me right out. He's like, "Why are you reading this? This isn't the Bible. You shouldn't be reading this." And I was like, "But in the New Testament, it's quoted, and this is straight from the Assumption of Moses, straight from Enoch, and this is a canonical book that's quoting it." So yeah, I'm going to keep this as a short one, guys, just 15 minutes. But yeah, Sola Scriptura, it's not legitimate. Christianity has equally as many traditions as any other religion out there. So yeah, even the New Testament disagrees with Sola Scriptura. So yeah, it's hurting itself. So just like anything, it's not from God. Judaism rejects New Testament as well as the text that the New Testament's quoting here. So yeah, guys, until next time, I'm Steve Eisenhower, and see you on the other side.